Talk about like foreshadowing, talk about visioning. That girl was wearing colors and light colors and had long silver hair. So I started growing my hair out. Like, talk about intention, right? I'm like, okay, I'm going to grow my hair out. The Tina you met in 2020 had short hair because she had just chopped it all off so she could let her silver grow out. So many of you, men and women, but women in particular, we are having hair loss in middle age, and it's awful. And I will tell you, a lot of the women that you see that are middle aged, that have big followings, they're using. The biggest question I got on Instagram was about my hair. So that's funny because I'll just tell you, I have always hated my hair. I've had a really hate relationship with my hair. When I was little, my mom's a hairstylist and I grew up in a salon. And when I was little, I always had to keep my hair short because I have hypersensitivity, kind of, a little touch of autism, neurodivergence, or whatever you want to call it. But hypersensitivity to the touch is a big part of that. And that's a story for another day. But I refused to let anyone brush my hair, and I would not brush it. So it was a rat's nest. So I had to keep it short until I was old enough to take care of it. So when I was 12, my mom let me grow it out, and I grew it out, and then I bleached the crap out of it and destroyed it. When I was 15, if you guys knew me back then, I had really long rocker hair. It was kind of like low-key permed. It was big. I was a rocker chick. I had big hair. And then I cut it all off when I was 16, and I went super short pixie cut, which was really fun. And I loved my short hair, and I worked, Doc Martens all the time. And I was in downtown Portland. Portland was so rad back then. It was so fun and so great. And the music was unbelievable. I saw Radiohead for $2. The Cranberries opened. I saw, so many shows. I saw Soundgarden for $5, Nirvana, all of them. All before they got big. And I was having such a fun time. The weather was horrible. And yes, I probably was very clinically depressed. And I was actually on an arsenal of antidepressants. So I know I was clinically depressed. But I was also chain smoking and not eating well and taking terrible care of myself and drinking too much. And when you live in Oregon, you just want to drink coffee and alcohol because you're like, it's gray all day long. I don't know what time of day it is. And you just feel like it. So it was a fun few years that way, but I probably wasn't as happy as I certainly wasn't terribly happy. But I was seeing good music, and Portland was rad at that time. Anyway, my hair was really short. I grew it out a couple times. My daughter, when she was little, wanted me to grow it out. So I grew it out, hated it, cut it off. I freak out when I get overly stressed and I cut my hair off. That's what I do. So I was actually about to cut my hair off a few months ago. I grew it out this time because I thought, I need to get out of Oregon. I just had this vision. I had a very clear vision from God. I was sitting in the sun. There were rocks. I don't know how else to say it. There were rocks. There were rocks and cactuses. This is a couple years ago. I was not wearing black. I was wearing colors. If you've noticed, I've been wearing colors. I had long silver hair, and I had the life of my dreams. That was the hit I got a few years ago. And so I started trying out not wearing black. And my daughter and mom were shocked because I always wear all black all the time. And they were like, why are you not in black? And I said, because I had a vision. And rich, happy Tina does not have short hair and wearing all black. Rich, happy Tina, and I don't just mean financially rich. I mean rich, like my life is rich and complete and full and happy and calm. That girl was wearing colors and light colors and had long silver hair. So I started growing my hair out. Like, talk about intention, right? Talk about like foreshadowing, talk about visioning. I was doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to grow my hair out. Well, then right before I moved, right as I was packing and getting the pod ready and, doing all the things, purging, I was in the thick of the stress. And I thought, I'm going to cut my hair off because that's my knee-jerk reaction when I'm stressed out is cut my hair off. In fact, I have shaved it a few times. So I was like, get this off my head. And it was getting so dry on the ends and it was looking so frizzy. Part of that was the climate of Oregon. It's not conducive to my hair. Arizona is much nicer for my hair. That's probably a part of it. But your hair is all about your health, your hormones, your nutritional status, your stress levels. The times that I had grown my hair out in the past, you maybe remember me with long dark hair years ago when I was first starting online. My hair was so brittle and breaking off all the time back then, and I was so skinny. I was so underweight and stressed out and had pneumonia all the time and was running an online business and my practice, and I was a single mom, and and my daughter was a teenager, and we were in the gauntlet, and it was such a stressful time, and I was all alone doing it. And when I cut my hair off that time, it was because I was going silver. So to go silver, I had to decolorize all that dark hair I had, and it ended up completely frying my hair, so I chopped it. So the Tina you met in 2020 had short hair because she had just chopped it all off so she could let her silver grow out. That was what that was about. And I thought, I wonder what this would look like grown out. So I started growing it out recently. And I don't know, what was that? 2 years ago, I guess. And then you saw me chop it. If you have been around a while, you saw me give myself a shag. Like, a year ago? It was a terrible idea. I was so stressed out. I drank a glass of wine. I took a straight razor and I watched a video online and I gave myself a shag, and it was a disaster. It was not a good idea. And so I've let that grow out, and we have been trying to tie the layers together because that was a homemade job. I did that on myself. So we're trying to get and I think we're kind of there. But I'll tell you what, God keeps putting the right people in my path and the right opportunities in my path. I cannot even explain it. It's the craziest thing. Everything that I have, offers that I have been made, everything is at these incredible values. The right people are showing up. Since I landed in Arizona, I have prayed for team members for this organization to show up and help me, and they've all shown up, and they've all been the most amazing people. You know who you are if you're listening. And just kind-hearted, Christian, good-centered people who have a love of God and are fair. I was preyed upon in the years past by people who would way overcharge and underdeliver and then take credit for my success. Because when they look at your numbers on Instagram and they look at your email list size and all that, and then they just quote you exorbitantly ridiculous prices. And it's been a lot. So I found a really good team to help me out. Because I had pretty much fired my whole team except for my one assistant and my daughter who works for me. And back to my hair. I got here and the weather was so bad on my hair. The frizz went away for the most part because it wasn't raining all the time, but the ends were so dry and they were literally splitting up. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Do I need to eat more protein? and my hair was falling out. That was the other piece. Before I left Oregon, I was having tremendous hair loss. And I actually texted Dr. Mamina. You maybe remember her from my podcast, Dr. Mamina. She's so lovely. I texted her and I said, I'm going to start oral minoxidil because this hair loss I just can't do this. I am middle-aged. I am living it. I know so many of you are living it. So many of you, men and women, but women in particular, we are having hair loss in middle age and it's awful. And I will tell you, a lot of the women that you see that are middle-aged that have big followings, they're using minoxidil, not just topically, but orally. And I did a whole podcast about hair loss and you can hear my thoughts back then, but look at my hair back then and then look at it now and what has changed. I actually had a wonderful woman that I connected with on Instagram and she sent me a whole box of products to try. And I was a little bit sketchy about it because it's, I get a lot of stuff sent to me and I'm not keen on trying new things. I have psoriasis of the scalp, which has gotten really bad in times past, which has contributed to some degree to the hair loss. And that's one of the reasons you saw me with short hair for so long, because I was going through it. I was so stressed out and I was being politically targeted and financially targeted and things were bad. And I was getting so much plaque psoriasis on my scalp. My skin has low-grade rosacea, so I'm hesitant to try. That's why you don't see me promoting a lot of skincare lines because I'm scared to try them, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of even things with essential oils freak me out because the essential oils I'm afraid I'm going to react to. So this woman sent me a box of hair care products. I let them sit there for a week. I finally dove in and started researching them because you know me, I have to look things up. And so I researched them and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I started trying them. And within a few weeks, the drain was not, the way that my drain is, I can see literally, I have this little cup and I pull it out and I can see how much hair I lost after each wash. And you bet I monitor that. That's how I knew my hair was falling out in Oregon because my husband was like, are you okay? Because he'd get in the shower after me and pull this huge clump up. And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I'm so stressed out. I have to get out of here. And I mean, I was thinning. I was really, really thin through here. I thought my part was widening. I was so freaked out. I actually had a hair analysis done I went and saw a couple different stylists. I actually took photographs and had ChatGPT analyze my scalp. And in all cases, everybody was like, you have a great head of hair. I don't know what you're concerned about. But I'm like, but it's falling out. So I'm not that far from not having a great head of hair. Anyway, they had a growth serum in this line, a shampoo and conditioner, a day-night serum, and an oil. That's kind of their like flagship product is an oil, and a split end mender. You can't really mend split ends, but you can actually mend bonds. And that's the science I've been getting into, is the biology of your scalp, the microbiology of your scalp, and the biology of hair. I have never dove so deep into it. My mom is a hairstylist. I literally grew up in a salon, you guys. I spent a remarkable amount of time in hair salons throughout my youth. I have tried everything. When I packed my house in Oregon, the room that took the longest was my bathroom. And for somebody who had short hair for that long, you would be shocked at the amount of potions and lotions. I left a full cabinet full of hair care in Oregon and brought a full cabinet full of hair care to Arizona. That is how much hair care I have. That is how many products I have tried. I have tried, you name it, I have tried it. And I feel like I could have like an Abby Young. You know, Abby Young on Instagram, the Abby Young method. I feel like I could have her Instagram with the amount of freaking products I have tried. And so I was like, fine, I'll try this. And I kid you not, within a week, I was like, oh my gosh, my hair is feeling so much better. And it's not breaking off when I brush it. I'm not getting I was getting pieces of hair falling off. And I'm not even color treated. This is my natural hair color. So anyway, I will put a link in the show notes for you guys to check it out, and you can see if you like it too. But my good word, I'm not making any of this up. I think it's really working and it's helping. And you guys all were the ones going, oh my God, your hair is hairing. What's going on? What are you doing? So I will share that. I will talk more about this later. I think I might actually do a webinar on it because it's sciencey and I don't want to nerd out too hard here. So yeah. I'm loving it. I've got my best friend on it. I got my daughter on it. Everybody's loving it. And I will share the link in the show notes how you can check it out if you want to. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. I'm going in the right direction. Get out of tyranny. You will not believe the weight it takes off of you. Step 1 of the glow up plan. Trust me. Move. Make the move. I was so happy to wake up to the sun every day and be somewhere where I felt like I could breathe. It took me 15 years to get here. And I'm sure glad I waited because I was really able to level up my whole life, my health, my income.